As the world modernizes and globalization allows technological advances to spread internationally, people anywhere in the world can now have access to each other through a communication and information system called the Internet. Almost everyone in the world has access to a computer or a cell phone, which has created an outlet for individual ideas and knowledge. The newest and most impactful technological advance has been social networking on the Internet, also known as social media. Social media is very impactful on the world and has benefited global activism because it is extremely available and a faster way to spread ideas to a large audience in a matter of seconds. Social media brings up important and beneficial impacts like connectivity worldwide, access to all information at the fingertips, and opportunity for activism. Social media and networking tools have been one of the most beneficial tools to direct political elections and social changes. Social media greatly affects political and civic participation in both developed and developing countries. As globalization moves countries toward democratic governments, more and more people will want their voices heard, and social media is an easy and available source for that. It is also faster and more efficient than traditional media like newspaper and television. People around the world who want to know more about a revolution or even want to participate can go to the Internet for faster and more personal information. In countries like Syria, where there is limited access to Internet, people can simply snap a photo on their cell phone and share it with the world. People use the Internet and social networking sites to exercise their right to freedom of speech and expression. Some governments in developing countries have started to filter what you can see or access on the Internet, but social media websites like Facebook and Twitter are much harder for the government to control. People feel that they have a voice on the Internet that the government can't shut down because with social media they have the ability to anonymously criticize government structures. For example, the Arab Spring Revolution in the Middle East was started with a single video uploaded to YouTube that went viral. These posts were very impactful on the people in the region because they play a huge role in their decision about whether or not to participate. Social media allows personal interviews with people who are actually at the protests, live photos, and live videos to be accessible to everyone. Modern-day revolutions organize and gain participants and supporters not just regionally, but worldwide through the Internet. Social media has allowed people from all over the world to get to know each other on a more personal level. Social media sites have created virtual communities to make individual voices heard. No longer can people from a certain country hate everyone from another country because of the connections social media has created between people. Social media brings out the human in others, showing that most people are not emotionless computers. Through the Internet, countries like Egypt, Libya, and Tunisia learned of the U.S.'s participation in helping fighting their battles. While social media creates many opportunities for communication and globalization of ideas, it also creates opportunities for ordinary people to start revolutions and rapidly spread discourse across nations. Social media automatically gives anyone with a cell phone the same power terrorist groups have to make world news because technology has become so available. Governments and nations can't keep secrets from their people anymore because so much information is shared on the Internet. An issue that comes up with social media activism is that people can say and criticize whatever they want in the virtual world, but would not necessarily act on their words in the physical world. It is too easy to tweet an idea and not act in person. People in the late 20th and early 21st century go to the Internet for news to get faster and more personal information. The main issue with the Internet being people's main source of daily news is that the information is not as verifiable as slower sources like TV news and newspapers. Many people would believe that social media websites are the future of global activism. Movements today have started to rely on social media and internet connections to organize and start revolutions in autocratic countries like Ukraine and Egypt. The future of activism is spreading ideas and information around the world to gain participation, and the fastest way to do this is through the Internet. Although social media is just made up of weak ties between strangers, the power to rapidly spread information between people with common goals is more efficient and more powerful. There is strength in weak ties. Our acquaintances, not our friends, are our greatest source of new ideas and information. The internet lets us exploit the power of these kinds of distant connections with marvelous efficiency. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media sites will eventually overthrow traditional media like TV and newspaper. Already many newspapers have started to adapt to changing times and have converted to an e-version. I personally found this information very interesting, and it makes me more curious about the future and how globalization will continue to change the world. Some questions my research has created about the future of social media activism are: will government management of social media reduce it to a modern state-controlled media? And will the government empower the people's voices or shut them down? Also, will the globalization of social media continue to benefit global activism? I think social media will continue to play a huge role in everyone's lives. I think the future is either going to be very bright or very dark because of the globalization of internet and social media. People will either accept the virtual world and use it to improve people's lives, or be scared of it and try to shut it down along with everyone's voices.